Hey everybody, it is Chuck Barone on Monday, July the 9th, 2024. Another crazy day, guys. Wow, you saw any of you guys get a chance to see Powell today? He's getting better and better at this double speak stuff that a Fed chair kind of has to master. It's kind of comical. We know. So he wanted to say things are going good without everybody getting in a frenzy that rate cuts are coming. So he was trying to temper it. It was really interesting to watch him do his thing. The markets reacted with a big yawn, however, so not much going on in the markets today. Before I get rolling, as always, let me take a second. Welcome everybody to the show. Nice to see all my friends on the chat. The usual suspects, Attila and Wolf and Salty. We got Big Smoke back today. Nice to see you, my friend. Paradiddle all the way from Australia. Nice. Real estate, got Dave and Marley here. We got the regular crew, the usual guys and gals on our pre-show chat. Nice to have all of you guys every day, man. I really appreciate the support, guys. All right, so let's talk about these weird ass markets today. Another weird one today. The stock market, I mean, it's kind of really weird. I guess it's being driven by rumor and Nvidia, right? So you had this weird anomaly again where you had the Dow Jones down 52 points, 39,291 on the Dow. At the same time, you had the NASDAQ and the S&P both higher, both breaking records. The S&P up 25 points, 18,429. You got the S&P up 4 points, 5,566. Touchdown Tommy, that's my man. The market, that just the weirdest thing where the Dow, which is usually the market leader, it's the thing everybody looks at on the stock market typically, right? So the Dow down at the same time, the broader markets, NASDAQ and S&P up, very strange because the broader markets aren't really the broader markets anymore. Now it's all S&P. We've talked about that on the show. 6 companies or 7 companies driving almost 75% of the S&P gain so far this year, and most of it Nvidia themselves. So a very strange, very weird stock market right now. When I think when Nvidia corrects, which it naturally will, nobody gets to keep the monopoly forever, for very long, even in this country. So once there's some legit, real competition, or they make a mistake, or whatever happens, you're going to see not only Nvidia correct, it's going to take the S&P and the NASDAQ with it. Crazy, crazy times. The bond market today, basically a non-event. Prices down, yields up, very small. The 10-year up 3 basis points, sitting at 4.30. The 2-year up 2 basis points, 4.62%. So you got a very narrow still inversion there with just 32 basis points between them. Powell speaking today, kind of, like I said, the guy was doing his best to talk out of both sides of his mouth, right? So he wanted to assure the Congress and people watching his testimony that the Fed was doing its job, things were looking good, things were favorable. I'll talk about that in a little bit, some of his quotes. But at the same time, he wanted to say they needed to see more data, blah, 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 blah. Same basic bullshit he's been giving us since it was transitory, right? So the stocks and bonds today really, for all real purposes, a non-event today. The dollar rallies up a little bit today. The dollar up 13 basis points in the index, 105.12 on the dollar index. So it's kind of been whipsawing around a little bit. It was up close to 106, crashed back down to 104 and change, now building back up. I'm a strong dollar guy, so I'm happy to see the dollar having stronger value, even though I'm not a European or world traveler to take advantage of some of those exchange rates. Nice to see the dollar stronger. Metals. Gold today, even with the dollar rising, metals also rose, which is another weird little thing today, right? So gold up $5.40, $2,365.60. Silver up 5 cents, $30.75. Would like to see, silver maintain this 30, actually put a little more distance between 30 and the real price where it is. This is an important support line. It got bumped under there once now. We need to maintain this support at $30. Oil today falls 92 cents per barrel, $81.41 for a barrel of West Texas Intermediate. So you have oil now spiked up to about $84, now slowly coming back down to earth. And Bitcoin rallies up a little bit today. Bitcoin up $1,396, 57,924. So now we're going to have Bitcoin. It's going to be interesting because, as I've explained to you guys, these round numbers, 55, 60, 65, when they break above it, it becomes a support number. When they fall down below it, now it becomes what's called a resistance line, resistance number. So now we got to see if Bitcoin can bust back up through 60,000 that is, and hold it. Just like silver is doing with $30 right now. 30 became resistance once it broke under, got back up above it, now got to hold it. Same with Bitcoin at 60. All right, let's talk about Powell today. So Powell speaking in front of, I think today is Senate day. So the Senate Banking Committee, and it was the usual line of bullshit, guys. More evidence needed, blah, blah, blah. Jobs show the economy no longer overheated, blah, blah, blah. Like the economy was ever overheated. Cut the shit. Here's some quotes. Labor market conditions have cooled. Well, yeah, especially if you go by the revised numbers, right, guys? He said Fed independence was essential. Essential. That's a shot across the bow to Donald Trump, I'm guessing, because Trump is known for wanting to meddle in Fed business. Did meddle pretty good when Powell was chair under Trump's watch. Yeah, Manarino's always bashing on Powell pretty hard. Was he calling him a yellow stain or something? The guy's crazy, man. But anyway, Powell, basic bullshit, right? He said the increase in unemployment was due to more people joining the workforce. So now it's, the workforce, more people getting into the workforce. So we don't need to have, guys, it's just all double speak bullshit, man. Are more people really joining the workforce? I guess some people got out on the sidelines and, now that there's jobs to be had, they're in there. But I seriously doubt that that's the reason unemployment's ticking up, right? He said, quote, "Today I am not going to be sending any signals about the timing of any future actions," unquote. So basically he wanted to put them on notice that he wasn't going to tip his hand, wasn't going to give them any indication, even though the Democrats want to know all about when are rate cuts coming. The Republicans want to know all about, how can we get reserves higher at banks. So they had their own agendas, and Powell was just bobbing and weaving, man. He also said more good data would strengthen our confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. So basically, this is a rehash of the same stuff he's just been saying over and over and over and over. Not really anything today that I heard that was new news or any kind of new, could even be construed as new. This was a rehash of the same old stuff. We've conquered the demon. We need to get it under 2%. In the meantime, the bond market factoring in now just under 72%, 71.8% chance that the Fed will start cutting rates in September. Now, I'm telling you guys, I still have my doubts about September, October, and November because I just don't see the Fed try and now interject themselves into the election for president. I just don't see them doing that. Now, granted, I guess if the economy really starts to slip and, there's signs of maybe recession, maybe that gets him to move a little bit faster. But outside of that, and Does anybody, I guess I've been saying I see recession coming for a long, long freaking time, guys. All the signs are there that it's going to happen. It just hasn't. So we'll see where it all goes. But Powell today, pretty much a non-event. Not exactly what I was looking for. I was certainly looking for Powell to move markets. This is a real opportunity before their next meeting. I thought he would kind of set up, okay, he knows what CPI is going to be on Thursday. He knows. He's setting up, okay, here, blah, 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 for either rate cuts or no rate cuts coming due to this CPI number, this PPI number on Friday. Well, he did not tip his hand. Now he's back in front of, tomorrow he gets the House, which is always a much wilder session for him than the Senate is. Senate will still, even though they're all crazy dumbasses, a little more dignified still than the House is. So I'll keep an eye on that tomorrow. We'll see if anything substantive comes out of it. Treasury auctioning. Did you see this today, guys? Man, I don't know. Maybe that's why yields were up a little bit today. Treasury today auctioning off $58 billion freaking dollars in 3-year notes. Their appetite for debt is absolutely insatiable. There's nothing that can constrain them. What we're going to need to see is probably the crisis. We know, and we've talked about in the show, that these auctions have not gone perfectly well. We know that the dealers, the people that sell treasury bonds for the government, have been stuck with a lot more inventory. We'll see, guys. The demand is crazy. $58 billion just today they're auctioning off. Saw some information today I thought was interesting. We've talked about on the show how people staying at their job, their incomes have gone up this much. Well, people switching jobs, their incomes have gone up this much. Well, now that seems to have gone pretty much, that's not happening anymore. The advantage back to the job creators, I guess, than the job seekers. So job switching now losing its leverage and all the pay gains that went with it. Job switching still going on, obviously, just not for the same reason. People not switching jobs because they think they can get more money. They're switching jobs when they're actually offered more money. Interesting times, guys. Goldman Sachs out today says a soft landing is a sure thing. Absolutely a soft landing. They're continuing to talk stock prices, continuing to just keep going up, keep going up. They're talking about even a broader market advance. Guys, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just a natural Italian, what the hell could go wrong attitude I have, Italians are a little bit different. We look at a scenario and it's always what's the worst that can happen. And that's kind of the way you set your plan. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. It just doesn't look like the economy, the government, Wall Street, or anybody connected with money and finance is doing that. They're not preparing for the worst. They're all acting like only the most rosy, perfect, wonderful scenario is possible. And Goldman says a soft landing is a sure thing. Okay. Can anybody, I got a lot of historians on this chat. Anybody point me to a soft landing ever? Because I'm trying to remember when the Fed was raising rates that didn't end in a recession. It always does. We'll see. And this one today was the one, guys, that really gets me. You know me, I love to find something. I'm going to find something every day that's going to piss me off. Here we go. So now, corporations. When we think of AI, we think of ChatGPT, and oh boy, we can get questions answered. It's faster. It's the new Google, whatever, right? Listen to this now. AI being programmed to help corporations with what they call, listen to this, guys, personalized pricing. Ooh, pretty fancy phrase for they're going to jam it in, man. Okay. It's the practice of using your own data against you to change prices and charge the highest price the algorithms at least say you're willing to pay for everything. Okay. And the way the guy described it, he said, picture you're in an airline, you're on an airplane, you use all your points and you got yourself a first class seat. Now you're looking around, you're wondering, wonder how much did that person use points? Did they pay the 10 grand for the ticket? Airlines are the greatest at masking this because everybody seems to pay a different price. Now that seems to be coming to everything. Surprise, corporations trying to fuck us. Price discrimination. Listen to this, guys. Price discrimination is perfectly legal as long as it's at the retail level, right? So if you live in a certain neighborhood, fancier neighborhood, okay, let's say you live in Nob Hill in San Francisco or Beverly Hills in California or even Summerlin here in Vegas. They used to just price the whole neighborhood higher, right? Okay, you're in a wealthy neighborhood, we can charge a little bit more. You're in a crappy neighborhood, we got to charge less. And you can see that as you drive through town with the gas prices. You know, I typically, when I'm going to fill my tank, you know, me, Charlie the cheapskate, I'm going to one of the not nicer areas in my bulletproof vest, just kidding. And, filling my tank up there, you can save up to 40 cents a gallon just by going to a different neighborhood to fill your tank. Now they've gone to past neighborhoods to the actual individual, okay? And what they used as an example was really, really interesting. Again, getting back, let me finish the thought there. So wholesale, you discriminate against, if you're a wholesaler and you're selling to retail, you cannot discriminate against them in any way, shape, or form, right? So this is a black company, we can charge them. We're going to discriminate price there. This is blah, for whatever reason, you can't discriminate on a wholesale level, but perfectly legal on a retail level. You got to love this stuff, man. It's just like our government really looking out for us, right? Anyway, they used this example. It was really interesting. They said if you call an Uber, right, it checks your phone battery. That's one of the criteria it uses to set pricing, okay? And the logic there is that somebody with a battery that's just about to die might even click their phone off, is desperate and will pay a higher price than a person with a full battery charge. You know, if your phone runs out, you're not going to get an Uber, right? So while you got that last call, you're willing to pay more. And these are the kind of tricks these guys are using to scam us all. It's just a bunch of bullshit, man. Listen to this, guys. Did you know Amazon adjusts their prices 2.5 million times a freaking day? Every little penny counts, I guess, guys, right? 2.5 million times a day, you're moving prices around. So it really pays to take your time when you're shopping. Pays to take your time. Know, if you're going to buy something, know what you should be paying for it. Now they're going to force us to be a little bit better consumers. The things I've been saying to you guys all along, be a little bit smarter with your money, be a little bit less impulsive, right? Buy what you want, but make sure you don't get jammed up doing it, right? Now they're using all these tools to extract every single last penny they can out of the poor consumers, man. You know, I guess it's now, you know, they talk about remember how quickly did we go from essential workers to unskilled labor, right? It's kind of the way it works, guys. When they need us, we're essential. When they don't, they're going to stick it to us in a big freaking way. Anyway, just crazy, guys. Just fucking crazy. Anyway, that's it for the day, guys. Tomorrow will be the breather before we get CPI, jobless, and all kinds of stuff on Thursday. We'll have some data coming in tomorrow. Today was a very quiet day, not much data. I couldn't really find any data that was coming today. So tomorrow we'll start things back up. Thursday, Friday, the big finish for the week. Of course, I'm going to be here to bring you guys all the news you need, and it's much appreciated, guys. Hit the like button, hit that thumbs up, help me out, guys. Get that algorithm a little change for us so we can get the video out there in front of a few more people. Our views are down. We need to get those views back up. Share the video with your friends. Help me out, guys. Need to get my views back up. And hit me up in the comments. I will be answering questions today. I got nothing much happening after this video, so I'll be on with you guys today. Always a pleasure chatting with you guys in the comments. Tomorrow's another one, guys. Have a good evening. Until tomorrow, then. Take care. Thanks.